The story begins in a village in Thailand, where people were living their everyday lives comfortably. Near a forest, some young boys were playing with frogs they had caught from the river. They suddenly discovered a large, strange egg they had never seen before. Surprised, the boys decided to touch it. A little distance away, a fisherman at a corner of the river saw something strange coming towards him in the water. At that very moment, a huge, terrifying creature emerged from beneath the water and roared so loudly that it froze everyone present. Everyone froze in fear. The fisherman was so shocked by the sight, he couldn't even move. But the strange thing was that the monster completely ignored him and headed straight for the young boys who were touching his baby's egg. A few hours later in the morning, we see a local detective arriving at the scene of the attack. He discovered that one boy had survived, but he had been caught in such a deep well. The inspector was too shocked to say anything. He was shown the 2 bodies found there. His assistant explained that a net had been found near the victims, which was coated with a strange, sticky, slime-like substance. The detective was confused and asked what this strange object could be, but his assistant couldn't understand. The 2 decided to investigate together to find out where the attacker, or rather the creature, had fled. Then we see Me, a girl who lives nearby, being woken up by her mother, Lynn, and invited her to breakfast. When Me came down the stairs, Lynn asked her to wake her brother, as her father had gone fishing the previous night and hadn't returned. Despite being asleep, Me obeyed her mother and went to her elder brother, Yang. As soon as Yang learned of her father's disappearance, she wandered the village with her little sister, asking everyone about the fish. During this time, she became slightly separated from her brother. She began searching in the fields surrounding the village. While searching, she found a large paw print in the mud. Following the prints, she found a large egg and decided to show it to her brother. Excited, she brought the large egg home. Her mother scolded her and told her to leave it back where she had found it. However, she refused and stubbornly walked away from her mother, which made Lynn even more angry. Lynn then decided to go out with her eldest son, Kang, and look for May. May was building a special nest for the large egg near the river. Suddenly, the egg began to move on its own, and May saw the same large creature coming towards them from the river. A few minutes later, Lynn and Kang found May's slipper floating in the water, and both began screaming while searching for it. At that very moment, Lynn saw a strange creature rising from the depths of the water. Before her mother could warn her, the creature tried to grab Kang. Frightened, Kang thrashed about in the water to escape the animal's attack, and then ran towards the shore, where he grabbed Lynn's hand and both escaped to safety. Meanwhile, in a nearby area, 2 researchers were exploring the river, where they noticed a strange sight. They were collecting material to find out why the environment in this area was experiencing such a severe problem. Meanwhile, in the village, farmers were frantically running for their lives because the massive creature was attacking everyone in its path, sometimes biting them with its teeth, sometimes lashing out with its tail. Amidst the chaos, Kang and Lynn tried to get as far away from the monster as possible and escaped through the fields with the few remaining survivors. At the same time, the researchers were examining some insects found in the fields when they heard the villagers' screams gradually becoming louder. Despite witnessing so much devastation before their eyes, Kang and Lynn did not dare to move. Kang grabbed his mother's hand and dragged her to hide inside a bush. There, all the remaining people fell silent to avoid the monster's attention. They were forced to listen to the painful cries of the other farmers, who were falling prey to the creature one by one. Kang saw an opportunity to escape and said they had to leave. But while running, something sharp suddenly struck him in the shoulder, leaving him badly injured. Lynn immediately grabbed his son and helped him walk by his shoulder. Together, they reached the other side of the ditch and somehow escaped the creature, which was now busy protecting its new territory. As soon as they reached the road, a driver saw them and stopped to help. Minutes later, doctors and nurses at the city hospital began treating Kang's serious injuries. As soon as they heard the full story from Lynn, the hospital staff immediately called the police station. Upon receiving the alert from the hospital, the secretary ran to the commander and told him everything. The commander immediately went to talk to the survivor. Lynn, crying, explained that she had no idea what the object was and was devastated by the horrific scene she had witnessed. The commander realized that a truly evil monster had become a threat to the people of the entire area. He decided to take immediate action and set out with his team to investigate the matter thoroughly. Meanwhile, in a neighborhood in the city, a young boy was comfortably making a call on his phone when the river creature suddenly appeared. The boy fled in panic. The next morning, Inspector James received another call and rushed to the area, where several people had witnessed the mutant monster attack. The inspector asked why they hadn't informed him earlier. The man explained that the heavy rain had caused a problem with the signal tower, and their phones were completely out of order. His assistant, without wasting any time, informed his boss about the investigation. A short while later, the two men examined the corpse of a man whose face was completely destroyed. Later, we see a young couple traveling in their car during a heavy downpour, when the river monster suddenly appeared upon them. The bomb exploded, and chaos gripped the entire area. People were running in fear, fearing they would not fall prey to the monster. The next morning, the inspector was sitting in a coffee shop and chatting with his assistant when they received an alert about another attack. Both of them immediately reached there so that they could investigate, but they only found more dead bodies and scenes of the monster's maiming. After a while, James met with the commander, and together they gathered all the officers at the police station to make a solid plan to catch the demonic creature. As soon as the meeting ended, the investigator got a call from his daughter's school, and he was forced to go pick her up before school ended because she had a fight with her classmates. Meanwhile, both investigators met with the doctors at the hospital and inquired about the condition of the new victims. They also asked Lynn again, "Tell me what happened in your village." But Lynn couldn't even muster the courage to talk about it, and she just sat next to her son, who now got up to go to the bathroom. As soon as Kang went to the bathroom, he started seeing strange things. He removed the bandage from his shoulder and saw something sticky coming out of the wound. After some time, Kang started seeing this picture clearly. Realizing what had happened to his sister May, he realized that his younger sister was alive because she had managed to hide in the roots. Desperate, Kang ran to tell his mother and wrote on a piece of paper that he knew where the monster was. At that very moment, the commander gathered some guards and brave men, ready to face the creature. As soon as they received an alert about the enemy's location, they all set out to find it. On the way, Lin and Kang stopped them, having just left the hospital. Lin told them that her son had located the monster, and the officer decided that Kang would show them the way. After walking for some time, Kang saw the monster hiding in an old abandoned shed. He immediately signaled to the commander, who then ordered his men to throw explosive barrels at the creature. Surrounded by loud explosions and smoke, the monster emerged in a rage, attacking anyone who came in its way. The unarmed civilians immediately hid, while the others surrounded the monster and began hitting it repeatedly. However, Kang was also affected by the attacks and fell to the ground, weakening. This completely shocked Lin. Despite this, the men did not stop their attacks and further injured the monster, which was now trapped in a trap. When Lin realized that her son was somehow connected to the monster, she immediately intervened and stopped everyone, saying that she could not put her son's life in danger like this. The commander realized that Lin was telling the truth, so she decided to capture the monster alive for now. She assigned the responsibility to her assistant because she had to go to resolve another problem at the police station. Two policemen stopped their car on a road in the pouring rain and thought that they would move forward once the rain subsided. When they saw a huge egg, they carefully looked at the egg. They were watching her from a distance when suddenly she appeared in front of them and startled them. Without wasting any time, the officers immediately decided to call the inspector, but the girl was in deep shock and was not answering any questions. After some time, a police officer told them that they had found a dead body on the ground, but a small egg was found. And as soon as the investigator saw its size, his face instantly lit up. He decided to put the large egg in his car and take it with him. He quietly went and sat down with James's daughter. Amid the panic that was spreading among the people at the police station, the commander was talking to his secretary. For everyone's safety, he decided that all citizens should go to the city temple until the situation was under control. After subduing the monster, the police placed it on the hood of a pickup truck. Lin was trying to stop the others from hurting the monster further, as Kang was feeling the pain of each attack. But most of the people hated the monster and wanted to harm it. Poor Lin was helpless, trying to interrupt them. She didn't know what to do. Meanwhile, in his car, the inspector started talking about his troubled relationship with his daughter, when in the darkness, his assistant stopped him. They felt something coming. When everyone tried to look together, they saw a huge creature in front of them. Then they explained that the attack on the lion was actually done by a child because the real big monster was standing in front of them. In panic, the policemen started running, but could not escape. Hearing the sound of gunshots from a distance, James decided that he had to see what was happening. He started calling out loudly for his assistant, who he found sitting inside an ambulance. Confused, James started checking the area around the vehicle. As soon as he saw the dangerous creature, he trembled with fear and tried to hide with his colleague. Now, to save his daughter, he used the vehicle's radio to warn that the monster was nearby and ordered both the girls to stay completely hidden and not move. But the problem was that Pam, who was his daughter, got scared after seeing the monster, and the creature started attacking the vehicle. At the same time, the flying thing near them started shaking continuously, as if now the inspector, realizing his daughter could be a victim of these attacks at any moment, mustered his courage and began firing at the monster. This caused the massive creature to turn towards James and try to kill him, but James defended himself in time. Immediately, the inspector began running towards the river to help his friend. The assistant retrieved an oxygen tank from an ambulance. Reaching close to the enemy, he threw the tank at the monster to slow it down. However, the monster continued attacking the car's windows to retrieve its eggs. Pam's fear was growing. Pam tried to close the window but failed. The monster smashed a part of the car with its head. At that very moment, the assistant fired at the oxygen tank, drawing the monster's attention with a powerful blast. It immediately turned toward him. The assistant realized he couldn't detonate another explosion so quickly, so to save his life, he ran inside the ambulance, when suddenly, the unknown creature broke the door of the vehicle in one stroke. As soon as he found the lost egg, the monster did not waste even a second, and ran away from there as soon as he got the egg back. He started to move away, as if trying to understand where his second child had gone. After this, when Pam came out, she found the same monster waiting for her in the darkness. At the same time, James also came out. As soon as he saw that his daughter had been thrown to the ground by the creature, he ran towards her without thinking. He felt that the heavy rain was muffling her screams, so he fired a shot at the fallen tank which his assistant had dropped earlier. As soon as there was an explosion, the monster started moving towards him. As soon as Pam saw that her father was in danger, she started screaming loudly while writhing on the ground, but James did not move from his place. Just as the monster was about to kill him, he heard the cry for help from his second child, who was still trapped in the truck amidst the crowd. So the monster immediately ran to save his child. Now James did not waste a moment, and picked up his daughter in his arms and ran away from there. After a few minutes, that huge creature had reached the city, where a small girl saw him from her window. At the same time, James also contacted the commander and warned him of the monster's arrival. The commander realized that time was running out, so he immediately ordered everyone to head towards the temple, and people quickly started evacuating the city. Meanwhile, on the way to the hospital, James was trying to console his daughter, who was badly injured after the monster's attack. The inspector promised that once this was over, they would start a new life as a happy family. But before she could answer her father, Pam slowly stopped breathing and died in her father's arms. At that very moment, the monster ran towards the crowd of people and made a loud noise, causing chaos everywhere. A few seconds later, James arrived with an ambulance. When he saw a small girl lying alone on the road, he decided to pick her up in his arms and save her. Meanwhile, the vehicle approached, where the two researchers were trying to save their lives. To their surprise, they saw the monster ignoring them and moving in another direction. The researchers realized that the creature was searching for its baby and might be calling it using its roar. So they took the radio from the soldier and explained the situation to the commander. Meanwhile, Kang decided to take action. After hugging his mother one last time, he staggered towards the truck, where he attacked the baby monster to attract the attention of the larger creature. Finally, Kang sat in the driver's seat and prepared to leave, while his mother was running towards the bus from a distance. Within seconds, Kang, speeding through the streets, took advantage of the baby's screams to attract the attention of the larger monster and drove it away. The next morning, the commander gave his statement to the media at a press conference. Together with the other officers of the police station, they decided to hide the truth of the entire night. They said that all the leaked videos were just recordings of an underground film, and no real monster attacked Shaher. Meanwhile, in the middle of the city, Shaher spoke to her mother. They met, and the two embraced each other in relief. While James was saying goodbye to his dead daughter, James remembered his conversation with the commander, in which he had told him to keep the creature's presence a secret. Otherwise, many strange people would come hunting for the monster, which could worsen the situation. Only James knew that it was an injustice to the dead people to keep their deaths hidden like this. But James remained silent, giving his badge to the commander as he left, indicating that he no longer wanted to be a part of this. No matter how much the police tried to hide the truth, the fear and anger of that night remained a reality for the people of the city, as they had witnessed the horrific scene with their own eyes. Well, as the day passed, and people tried to forget everything, but the monster's claw marks were still visible in the mud on the riverbank near the city, along with the vehicle that King had used during his sacrifice. After 5 years, James returned to work in the outskirts of the city, and decided to keep an eye on May. She had been behaving strangely ever since she was found near the creature's egg. James secretly followed May and reached the riverbank, where he saw May performing a ritual for years. She was feeding a large monster with a pakri brought from her family's farm. James now understood that this girl was controlling the dangerous creature, so James planned an ambush. Holding a burning torch in his hand, he startled May. The baby monster, thinking that its owner was being attacked, immediately jumped towards James and tried to attack him. However, James was so quick that he burned a part of the monster's face with the torch, after which the creature threw it away. May, after controlling the creature, ordered the creature to leave. James wasn't about to stop. He detonated the explosives in his car, and the blast knocked the target to the ground. Immediately, James activated the truck's second bomb. As the smaller monster lay unconscious on the ground, he prepared to finish it off with his gun. Just then, James ran to the creature and tried to calm it down. Seeing the scene, James remembered a monk from the temple who had said that anger shouldn't overpower the heart. At that very moment, the larger monster also approached him, and James realized that revenge wouldn't bring his daughter back. With that realization, he decided to leave. Afterward, James traveled to the highest peaks of the area to find answers to what had happened in the city. Upon reaching there, he found a cave, which contained an old Buddha temple. Nearby on the wall were numerous drawings, including images of a terrifying creature. It seemed that he must have been roaming this land for thousands of years. Finally, all the candles burning in front of the statue went out, and as James looked back, he realized that he was standing in front of that huge creature. And then it was revealed that this place was actually his home. If you liked the video, then please like it and subscribe to the channel.